Okay. Welcome everybody to this week's KubeVirt community meeting. It is the 9th of April 2025. Thank you very much for being here. Let me just pop the link to the agenda into chat while we are here. And just before we get started, if you could please add your name here to the attendees. I did get confirmation that you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, can you?
Perfect. Alice, as of 3 days ago, there is no longer nap time. So we'll just be kicking it on to next week. But I would be here next week. Alrighty, well, let's jump into the. Is there anyone here that is new this week, or if even if you're not necessarily new, haven't introduced yourself to the group before, and would like to this week? Alrighty, in which case we'll have a quick look at the KubeVirt 1.6 schedule. Now this is updated. What did I say the day was? The 9th of April, which means we're a couple of weeks away from the Kubernetes release. I guess the dates to highlight here are it's the 25th of June. Dates apparently are hard to read. It was the KubeVirt code freeze, and we have an expected release date of the 16th of July. Okay. We do not yet have. Is Vladik or Lubo on the line? They're not. Okay. I don't see. I thought we were going to add the VEP deadline submission date. Does anyone here know better than I do where we can expect that? I'll take that as a no. All right, I'll follow up with them and hopefully we can add that to this release schedule. But I think that's quite important for us to know. Upcoming CFPs. Apologies, I haven't had a chance to really update this. It still has some old information on it. It looks as though the only CFP that is still open list that I have here is the Open Source Summit in Europe. CFP closes next week, April 14th. That will be in Amsterdam in August, at the end of August. It would be really good, I think, if this is something that I think KubeVirt has been at, but it was maybe 3 years ago. It was the last time we might have been there. I think it's something that would be very interesting for us to attend. It's, as I understand it, a bit of a potpourri of a whole bunch of different technologies and projects. And I suspect there's a lot of people that might attend that might be interested in KubeVirt, but have never potentially come into contact with virtual machines running in containers. So yeah, if you have any ideas for a talk and are interested in submitting, and you need a positive reinforcement or a bit of a gentle nudge or a review of a CFP, you're welcome to ping me. I will be that force for you if you so desire. Oops. Alrighty. Look. Lee has taken his point away, which means Brian, you're up.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Yeah, this is just a follow-up on the mailing thread that I would have sent earlier in the week about Sorcery AI. Yeah, I've seen a number of different other projects using it, upstream projects like C-Run and a few others in the containers organization in GitHub. And it seems like a very useful tool. So we've enabled it on Project Infra and KubeVirt CI so far. So Andrew, I don't know if you can. I think one of them in the notes. There's a link to a generated review that we have that could be a good example. But it's good at catching things that maybe humans aren't good at catching, like typos and things like that as well, which could come in handy. But what it does give you is a handy generated kind of reviewer's guide, which can kind of give you an overview of some of the changes, help make a PR kind of more approachable for a reviewer to pick up, because I know we've had issues with finding reviewers for PRs. So the idea of this tool will be that it would kind of do some of the heavy lifting initially, and generate these good reviews for each of the PRs that get created. And now, again, with any kind of LLM tool, some of it might be valuable and some of it might not be valuable. It kind of works similar to how DosuBot does the feedback as well. So you can do a thumbs up or thumbs down for the feedback. And if you go up to just scroll up a small bit there, Andrew, sorry, you'll see the kind of the review guide. So here's the review guide. It gives you kind of what has changed. It can give you, if it's a complex change, it'll give you a diagram to kind of show you how the different components interact with each other in the change. And again, for reviewers, they can choose to kind of read this or not. They might find it helpful, they might not find it helpful. Hopefully, most of the time, you'd find it helpful. But I think this will be a good thing to try and enable for KubeVirt. But I'm also open to hearing from other people in the community to see what they think. Initially, myself and Daniel have found it quite useful in Project Infra and KubeVirt CI anyway.
If nobody has questions, I I have one. Uh, this is great. Thanks, Brian, for sharing this. I am curious if there is a way to configure the tool in a certain way. So, for example, some of the things in Project Infra are shell scripts and Golang things. Most
Yeah,
of the stuff in KubeVirt might be Golang. So I'm just wondering if we can teach it like best practices and stuff like that, and configure it.
yeah. So you can configure it in ways like you can specify certain paths to review. You can set specific rules for certain repositories as well. So if you have a certain thing that you would like, I guess, to be included in a prompt of some sort, then it will be taken into account as well. They can also generate PR description summaries as well, but I've turned it off for now because I feel like the KubeVirt PR descriptions are generally good enough as it is. I don't think we need a summary AI tool adding on to the PR description, as some of them are quite long already. So initially we just have this reviewer's guide and the initial Sorcery AI review. But yeah, as Alay pointed out, there are additional rules you can set depending on the repository. So if we needed to refine it for a repository, or basically like not review Bazel files or something along the lines of that, we could do that as well.
I think it's a great idea to have this tool. But yeah, we should configure it somehow, because I just looked at the one comment it made, and for example, it suggests to change project infra dir. I'm not sure that's really a good suggestion, but I'm
Yeah,
afraid that it might confuse contributors. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, again, it's not. It won't have, I guess, much context. So again, this could be an initial tool that we try out, and then we could, if we come across a better tool that maybe is more context aware of the projects themselves, you could end up going with that tool. But for now, I think it could be useful. But again, like any LLM tool, you'd have to take it with a pinch of salt, I believe, and not take it as, completely correct.
Yeah, can it also compare what the description says and what the changes really do?
Yeah. So especially if there's a linked issue from GitHub as well, it'll take in any linked issues in GitHub as additional context for the review. So it'll compare what the issue says and what you've achieved or tried to achieve in the PR, and if you've achieved to fix everything that the issue mentions, basically.
Yeah, one last question. Can we limit it to PRs with certain labels, like for example, to a certain SIG for a start?
I don't know off the top of my head. I can check. It basically works off of PR events from GitHub, from what I can see so far. So if the PR gets opened, the review bot will fire.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, it's not like it hasn't been manually called to review?
So for these PRs were already created, so we had to manually call it. So you can also manually call it, and you can also dismiss it as well. So if you go down in the reviewer's guide, I believe there's a tips and commands. You can dismiss if you're tired of listening to the bot or tired of arguing with the bot. You can dismiss it as well. So you can at Sorcery AI dismiss will dismiss all the comments from the AI bot. Sorcery AI summary of the PR, and a few other commands in there as well.
Very interesting. So,
One more question. Is this enabled for KubeVirt?
It's not enabled yet, no. So we've only enabled it for Project Infra and KubeVirt CI initially. That's why I was kind of bringing it to this call as well. I think it's worth trying out in KubeVirt, but I was just wanted to gauge the community's feedback. And that was the intent of the mailing list as well.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we can do some kind of an opt-in for KubeVirt instead of having it fire on everything.
So I think is if we able to appear. I'll check if maybe we can judge as by the users. You can just
I'm sorry if it is
trigger.
me, but I'm not able to hear what Brian's saying. It's very choppy.
yeah, no, for me too.
Okay. 1 second.
Cancel the make file, the make process.
While Brian figures his stuff out, I'll just quickly cover a couple of things because they're just really quick. One was CDI version 1.62 was released. Hooray! So this is a CDI companion to KubeVirt version 1.5, which was released in March. Let's see if this has been approved. This is the unconference notes from that we had, I think, in the end of February, if I recall correctly. Is anyone able to approve these? So I can send them out. That would be really great. Do we have Brian back? Okay, just Brian, if you can hear me, just shout out when you're back. We'll just quickly go through these pull requests. So I've got 4 fuzz tests that have been added by, I can't remember the name of the group, but they were asked by the CNCF to apply fuzz testing to KubeVirt. This is what they've got. It'd be really great if we could have some reviews for them. Similarly, we've also got some Dependabot PRs, which, fix some dependency issues. One of them is critical, and the third one actually affects two separate dependency issues. So that's a twofer. I'm happy to kick these onto SIG Compute, but is anyone able to put up their hand to jump on any of these?
Yeah, sure, I can have a look.
Awesome. Which ones, the fuzz tests or the dependabots?
The fuzz tests, sure.
Okay, cool. I will add you to them.
Hey, I have some things to add regarding the first test.
Okay.
We also have added fuzzer tests for our APIs, the main ones at least, KubeVirt CR, VMI, and I believe it's VM, 3 of them. The issue is that every release we need to do certain steps so that the current release minus third release data is dropped and the current release data is added. But it's that data is not being updated since 1.3. So while we review this new fuzzer test, I would like to see if there is a release maintenance kind of thing going on, and if we can improve there.
Ale, do you have experience with this fast tests?
I worked on adding the API fuzzer test, so I have some experience there. I can share that in the next call if
I
needed.
wonder if you can take a look at these tests. I mean, it's I think it will be valuable.
Yeah, I can chime in. Sure.
Thank you.
But I think the bigger overarching point I wanted to address is maybe there is something in the release process which we can improve to make sure that the API fuzzer tests are having accurate data for each release.
Can this be automated? So when tagged, it will run a job to do it?
I'm not sure. Do we have a job that gets kicked off during the release? I'm actually not sure about the release process.
Yeah,
But
there is. Yeah.
okay, yeah, then theoretically, if that job has access to create a PR, then we can definitely automate it. Andrew, I think that's it. I'll file an issue for improving that process and share it with release folks.
Awesome. I'm not sure if you saw, but I just put the link into the doc, link into chat. Did you want me to, so I'll tag Itamar and Alay on these 4 fuzz tests. Is that good?
Sure, sounds good.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. I see Brian's back. Brian, did you want to finish your thoughts on the sorcery AI stuff before we moved on?
Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Sure can.
Okay, I don't know if it's better or worse, but
Much
yeah, I covered most of the stuff. Audio, but yeah, so I can take it back and have a look and see if we can choose whether we trigger on labeled PRs or not. I still think, from what I've seen, it won't review basic updates as well, like dependency updates or something like that. It'll choose not to review those because they're basic updates. But yeah, I'll have a look to see what can be configurable there around when it fires and when it doesn't fire. But yeah.
I know, I think you've only had this on for a couple of days, but is the Project Infra and KubeVirt CI, like, from so far in your experience, you're going to continue moving ahead with these?
For now, yeah, definitely, yeah. We're going to try it out because it does provide some good information in places for things.
especially I'd say for more complex PRs.
That bodes well once it's been a little bit fine-tuned, I guess. Awesome. Thanks for that. So we'll now jump back ahead. These Dependabot PRs, are we able to get there? I think they're relatively straightforward. It's just going to load forever. Yeah, can I get someone just to say, yeah, me, to take a look at these? And I'll CC you after this meeting because we've got 6 minutes left before the SIG Compute meeting.
Sure, I can take one. I can take the moderate.
Okay.
I send my a message on the chat.
Perfect. I'll have to do 14447.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'm just going to push these onto SIG Compute anyway. We have another couple of PRs as well. Let's see if they load. Okie dokie. Optimizing computing performance. That sounds like a good thing. Is Barack on the line?
Barack's on PTO.
Oh, okay. Would he otherwise be a good person to ping on this? Oh, he's already tagged as your review.
Yeah, there's an associated design proposal with this that I looked at it. I mean, my problem here. I mean, you can put me on this, but
okay.
Or maybe Alicia, you would want to look at this as well. I mean, the problem there is that I mean, until now we didn't touch. We delegated all the controller creation to KubeVirt, and now we explicitly want to create controllers and get into this business. And I'm worried that it may get out of hand quickly.
Who is requesting this feature?
I'm not sure.
I'm just wondering if they could just simply do their device plugin stuff. Maybe sidecars.
Yeah, sidecar would probably work, but I mean, it seems like it worked for them. At least I saw something that it did work for them in the sidecar, and now they want to bring it to an official API. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we will need something like network plugin for device plugin that also set the XML. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I did not get a chance to look at this, but does this have impact on the DRA work?
No, it's not related. I mean, it just when you assign the GPU or any PCI device, you could say to which NUMA node it's assigned. You can only say it in the controller, in the PCI extender bus, I think. And then the problem is that I mean, it's too deep, and we don't create controllers. We kind of delegate all of this into to KubeVirt. And then I try to solve this problem by exposing the NUMA related data through device metadata. But this is probably not enough. I mean, people want to see it actually in sysfs.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm hearing is this is specifically in the
domain configuration.
Convert, like the XML generation part is where this is. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
But bloody might be, I mean, I think it would be nice to have a way how people can can plug the certain configuration, special configuration. You will also use a little bit our maintenance. I have also the IBMZ
Yeah,
proposal in mind.
it could be. You may be right. I mean, I don't know, but that's why I wanted to look at I wanted
Yeah.
you to look at this. So we'll see. Yeah.
But it seems a bit a combination. I mean, could be the array also in the future, but device plugin plus some XML configuration based on some custom device plugin makes a lot of sense to me.
It just when there are lots of controllers. I mean, at what point will I mean how reliably will they be able to find the one that
That are associated with their plugin.
not just associated with the plugin, but associated with the device that has been put there? And like if you have several devices, how do you
By
find
name.
associate the controller to the
I
right
don't
one?
know, but
So this sounds like a perfect use case for the sidecar that augments the XML, right? Why
yeah, but sidecars, I don't know, sidecars are not really supported, so
not supported? I mean, the machinery for passing data to sidecar is supported, right?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, we still have the feature gate, and I mean, at least for for Red Hat project, that's not supported. I'm wondering if SUSE or other product they really enable it. So
So,
I s-
so it's I think it's half. Like it's half. It's like what the not supported part is the front end that you can actually put a configuration of the sidecar. That's not supported, like through the hook configuration. It is supported. I mean, you could say that it is supported in the implementation behind the scene. So
I mean, you mean for network plugin, right?
yeah, so for
Yeah.
network plugin,
It would be nice to have something similar for devices, I think.
yeah. So, yeah, the only problem is that everyone is concerned, and I understand the concern is that once you give this level of ability to manipulate the domain for yourself, you have some responsibility. We tried. I mean, I tried to convince Vladik that this is. I mean, if someone is creating such a thing, then everything is on them, and that's it. Like the project cannot have any responsibility. That's the only solution that I actually have. Yeah, something like that.
I think I would agree with what Eddie is saying. So I think what we need is a reliable extension point that advanced use cases can come in and add stuff to that XML in a reliable way. If the sidecar approach is missing some things where it's not being supported by vendors, then I think it will be nice to use this opportunity to fix those shortcomings and officially start supporting these kinds of high
So
advanced cases as sidecar workflows.
so it's there. I mean, you can use it, right? Enable the feature gate, and it's on you. We provide a facility. It's there. We can do it.
Yeah,
in a
but bloody, if it's not, I mean, we will have our graduate sidecar to GA. I mean, we will have our GA sidecar feature gate. I don't think so.
No, I don't. I also don't think so. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the point. A cluster admin can enable this, and that's it.
yeah, but if
I mean, how can we support?
So I understand your concern, but I also agree with Lei and Eddie about the concept because I mean this is one case. Then we start having the confidential computing stuff. The alternative is that we maintain everything in the main code, and yeah.
But by the way, there was one point. It's interesting is that I mean, because we provide this infrastructure, we always think always think about the generic case. Like, for example, when you said how they will correlate between the controllers and the GPUs and all this configuration stuff, what will happen if, all kind of this kind of questions. But the interesting thing is that in practice, what happens is that the ones that are using this, they have a very fixed configuration. I mean, they know exactly how the VM will look like. They don't have these permutations. So because they are only fixed on a specific thing, then they just duplicate it, or they have a very small set of such things, then they don't have this problem really. It's just because we are seeing the
Eddie, that's fine. I mean, we could go the way that you did with the network plugins and enable specific allow cluster admin to enable specific plugin that for this. That's fine. But I mean, as KubeVirt will not support anything, because here underneath, under the hood, they speak with the libvirt API. We don't support libvirt API. We don't even support the correlation. I mean, the same sidecar will not work on. There's no guarantee that the same sidecar will work in the next version. So it's really up to the user. So the only thing we can really do is just to allow the administrator to register a specific plugin, and then say, okay, that's up to you. Use it on your.
I
But
think
as KubeVirt,
I think, Vladik, there is one more thing we can do. Sorry to speak over, but we can potentially create a sidecar repo for this and say this is the official KubeVirt supported sidecar for doing something like this, right? And each libvirt upgrade where it might work or it might not work, we can go in and add integration tests to make sure that that sidecar is working.
yeah. What if you have a sidecar from a previous version that doesn't work with the new KubeVirt?
Yeah, no, that we have to rely on documentation to make it work, right?
So again, I mean, we already have that. Let's have a different discussion. I really have to be on another call. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, we are 6 minutes over. I didn't want to interrupt that. SIG Compute meeting is happening. I put the agenda in the chat. I want to kick on the remaining PRs and bugs. Nir, just quickly, you added something at the last minute about end-to-end test. Did you want to just quickly say something about that as we close? Nir's gone. Alrighty, we will also go. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Hope you have a wonderful day, good weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.